Welcome to ChinnyVision and time to rescue a princess. And I don't mean that plumber's bird. Prince of Persia, a game originally released at the end of 1989 on the Apple II. I would have thought the Apple II would be long dead by the end of 89, but hey, I don't really know about things that go on in the USA and that kind of platform. It's a game that's been ported to every conceivable system under the sun. The Amiga, the ST, Game Boy, GameCube, PlayStations 2 and 3, Dreamcast, Master System, Mega Drive, NES, whatever that is, and every kind of system under the sun, apart from the Spectrum, oddly enough. But anyway, one system that didn't get the port was the BBC Micro. Not a system that really got renowned for getting ports of the latest and greatest games. If the game did come out, it came out via companies like Superior, who sometimes did quite good jobs, like Barbarian, and sometimes didn't. But those guys at Bitshifters have been on the case. And we're starting off on the CRT here on my BBC Master, and we get a menu screen here showing us the controls and redefinable keys. I'll say that again, redefinable keys on the BBC Micro. Well done. Say taking the Beeb users 30 years to get the grips of actually redefinable keys being a good thing, but that's fantastic news. And for Beeb fans, yeah, they've got the ZX and weird configuration they seem to like, and everyone else can redefine their keys to something a little bit more normal. It's a straight port of the 6502 code from the Apple II, and I'm pointing the camera at the moment at a Acorn/Philips CRT monitor. We'll go over to direct capture shortly, but there's wonderful graphics and sound here, and it looks so much better on the CRT, which is why I wanted to show it. How the anti-aliasing on the graphics they've done comes out really, really well. Here's the plot. In the Sultan's absence, Grand Vizier Jafar rules with the Iron Fist. Basically, he's captured your bird and you've got to rescue her. That's the plot. And just, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. Look at the frames of animation. Before we've even started playing the game, look how good this looks. They've ported the original graphics across. I've done a lot of work to touch them up to get them working on the BBC Master. It's a Master-only game. It needs that 128K of RAM. Yeah, you're having to live with the BBC Micro's palette, but they're doing a really good job of doing that. You have a lot of magenta in the screen there, but there is a stippling to mitigate against that. And yeah, you have to marry Jafar, will die within the hour your girlfriend dies. The princess' hope now relies on the brave youth she loves. And you're a prisoner in the dungeons. So you escape the dungeons, which are about 7-8 levels, and get out. You've got an hour to do that. And I should stress again, this is a completely authentic port. Here's the details of the guys who did it. Special credit to John Blythe there, who's done some really wonderful work with the graphics. And this is just the demo attract mode. So you can see what's going on, just so I don't have to try and play this on the CRT whilst trying to look through a camera. And you know, it's Prince of Persia, you run along, you jump over things, platforms fall away, you fight some bad guys with your sword, and you have an hour to do it. Helpfully, the game has a load of cheats built in, which you can use if you want to. And I'll be taking maximum advantage of that, because I'm a really bad Prince of Persia player. I've got to say that up front. And let's look at the Amiga version for comparison before we start as well. Just pick the Amiga version at random. Could have tried the Master System, could have tried the Amstrad, could have tried, I thought, the Mega Drive version as well here somewhere, and certainly the ST. But just wanted to give you a view of the pinnacle of 16-bit systems. Of course, there's the PC version as well, but I'd have a good sound card for that. So let's have a look here. And the one thing I noticed, even from those demo track mode that I showed you, is the BBC Master version has more frames of animation than the Amiga version. Yeah, I've slowed it all down, had a look, and you've got more frames on the BBC Master of you running along than you do on the Amiga. I have to jump up things. And on the Amiga, you've got the advantage of joystick as well, which unless you've got a digital joystick for your BBC Micro, which I don't, you're going to have to be playing on keyboard. Hence why those redefinable keys are a godsend. And again, thank you, lads. I'm so pleased you put redefinable keys in. So let's go to direct capture from the BBC Master, and you can redefine your keys, as you say, and you can redefine them at any time. So you just press Control and K, was it R? And you can redefine your keys. So if you're not getting along with them, you'd have to stop and start the game. You can just redefine them where you are. It's brilliant. Why don't more games do this? So here we are at the start of level 1, 60 minutes left. Everyone's played this part of the game and you usually die and give up shortly afterwards. As I say, I'm not the best Prince of Persia player, but I'm going to give this a go, and I'm going to use a few cheats as well just to show a few different levels of the game. What's not in question here is, although I'm not a fan of Prince of Persia, I recognise this is a absolutely brilliant game. And lots of people love it, and I can recognise it's a really well put together game. I've never been able to get along with it. I've never been able to get along with games like Flashback either. But that's not what's in question here. What's in question here is the BBC Micro version, BBC Master version, any good? So if you go to the right there will be a guard which you need to go past to get to the end of the level. But since you don't have a sword, you can't fight him. He will kill you, like that. Just to demonstrate that, you need to go to the left of level 1, find the sword, and then go back and beat him up. Simple enough? Yeah, this is Prince of Persia, so there's a lot of precise timing, and you are on keyboard, unless you do have a suitable joystick. Run along, creep along to the edge, jump, spikes come up when you hit the platforms there. Watch out for any platforms that don't look even. They may fall away, they may activate things. Do not fall down pits, you will die. Jump over there and jump up there. It takes some practice. I've spent about 40 minutes just getting through the first few screens. It's been a few years since I've played Prince of Persia. Incidentally, a friend came over who sometimes watches the channel. Hi, Martin. And had to go on it as well, and he couldn't get too far because, again, the memory of... a lot of people have said to me, oh, I played Prince of Persia years ago and I could pretty much complete it, and then I can't get off level 1 now. It's a memory test. That's the sword. You need the sword to get up there, climb up again, and run along. And yeah, your skin colour's magenta, but you're going to have to overlook that stuff. Oh, yeah. You've got to know what you're doing in Prince of Persia, and simply I don't. This is level 2, and I've cheated to get here. I'll be completely honest about that. Jump over there, and here we go, fight the guards. Which I'm not very good at, and actually I've activated another cheat to make the guards a bit easier to defeat. And there are various cheats you can use in the game to do things like that are built in. There's a potion down there. I'm assuming a platform will fall away down there. Lovely animation. Pick up the platform. And you do a drinking motion, and up you go. Watch out for spikes there, and I'm dead. You really have to keep an eye out on Prince of Persia of what's going on. Because... so many ways to die. You've got infinite lives, but every time you die, you get thrown back to the start of the level, and you've got to bear that in mind. The only thing that's going to kill you is not anything that's going to defeat you is not having enough time to complete the game. Basically, you can die as many times as you like. You get thrown back to the start of the level. That's another 4 or 5 minutes wasted getting through the level again, and you just lose time basically. And here's one of the things I don't like about Prince of Persia, going out of view and then having to jump up. Some people like games like this, and I can recognise it's good without actually enjoying it. That might sound like a weird thing to say, but you can recognise a movie like The Godfather. The Godfather's a good movie. I don't like it. I've watched it, I don't enjoy it, but I can recognise it's a good movie that many, many people enjoy. And Prince of Persia is one of those games for me. And here's lovely cutscenes here with the sands of time flowing away. I can recognise Prince of Persia is a really well put together game and very enjoyable for some people, and it just leaves me cold, really. But this BBC Master port is absolutely stunning. To get twice, no, not quite twice, but getting on for more animation than the 16-bit versions is seriously impressive. To squeeze this all onto an 8-bit, okay, I did it on the Amstrad and the Sega Master System without it's on cartridge. To get this onto the BBC Master is impressive. They've done a really good job on the graphics and the sound. It feels like a really authentic experience. I did ask a hardened Prince of Persia player to give this a go via an emulator, and he did say to me, and this is someone who's played it on the 16 bits and can complete it, he said the controls felt a little bit sluggish. I didn't really notice that. That's a hardened player telling me that. I really don't have an opinion in that direction. It feels fine to me, but that's someone who's played the game over many years. He said, he didn't say it was a major problem, he just said it was very slightly a problem. So I'm just spinning through the levels here, and I'm massively cheating. I couldn't get off level 1, and I just played it for about 2 hours in the end and just kept dying, and yeah, I did quite a lot of capture on this and didn't get very far. So I'm just trying to show a good variety of the game. And there's little speed traps like that, which you have to... Oh, there's a little man running on there. Little timing traps like that. Just be aware of when you're playing this game on your LCD displays of any latency there may be. Certainly with capture, I found Prince of Persia is quite hard on the timing things. We've got to jump over things or the snappy things because you've got not even a quarter of a second delay, something like that. Because you've got a delay, it may only be a few milliseconds, but it's enough to throw your timing out. So the best way to experience this is on CRT if you can. Sometimes you run over platforms, you don't quite know what they're activating until later on. This is the final level, so I should be running through. There we go. I've rescued the princess. I haven't. I've rescued her via massively cheating. And look at that. Going back, this is direct capture here. On the CRT, that looks so good. The tyrant Jaffa lies dead, his power shattered. Throughout the land, the people of Persia hail their princess and the brave youth who saved her from the forces of darkness. No longer a stranger, he from this day forth be known as Prince of Persia, and there will be umpteen spin-off games and some kind of diabolical movie, as I recall. But this is where it all began. Prince of Persia is an absolutely stunning achievement for the BBC Master, and well done to all involved. This feels like a completely authentic port of the game, and it looks absolutely stunning, especially on CRT, and the sound design as well replicates the original game very well indeed. My problems with the game come from the fact I've never really got along with Prince of Persia. That's my only personal fault with the game. I just find it hard and fiddly, and that's nothing to do with this port. I stress that. It's just a game I've never really got along with. Flashback, which a lot of people want me to review on the channel, and frankly I don't really want to touch. The one niggle that has been brought to my attention, and I don't really agree with this or can't really find it, is that I am told that the controls are slightly sluggish, but again, not in my experience. But I thought I'd better bring that up just to be clear on what I've been told. Absolutely stunning achievement to port this over to the BBC Micro. Even if you don't like Prince of Persia, I think it's really worth giving this a go, because it's a stunning example of what the machine can actually achieve. And remember, this is a machine that suffered so many substandard ports and poor clones of games over the years. To actually see this done properly, and the same guys who did all those brilliant demos, well, it's one thing doing a brilliant demo, but to actually port a whole computer game, create a whole computer game, is absolutely brilliant. I would love to see these guys tackle another game, perhaps a racing game, something like WC Le Mans, something like that, where the BBC Micro is severely lacking in games like that. that'd be fantastic. But I know then again you've got to get all the code, and it's much more work than just porting straight from the 6502. In short, absolutely stunning achievement, brilliant port of the game. Even if you don't enjoy Prince of Persia, check this out just to see what the BBC Master can do. Bitshifters have made my old sixth form college BBC Master sing, and for that I salute them.